So we watched House of Cards yesterday, and one of my favorite characters, the Stampede.
You really call him the Stampede?
I call him the Stampede.
He stampeded that girl, if you know what I'm talking about. He You notice that's the second time he has stampeded somebody half his age?
Yeah, it's the Stampede.
I hope when I'm 50 or 60 years old, I'm banging girls that are 20 to 30 like Doug Stamp.
You know, people say things like, oh, if you're skinny and you're scrawny and you're bald, you can't get women. Man,
he got the girl in the casino, but then the girl in the casino is not nearly as hot or as refined as the physical therapist chick that he banged. He's stampeding left and right.
Yeah, he's stampeding. He shoots his shot.
He shot his shot.
Yeah, it's good. He's very good at shooting too, I noticed. He puts his eye on a target and eradicated.
There's something about a guy that murders people and covers up for murderers that's so goddamn attractive.
Women can tell. Women can tell. They're like, ooh. You know,
murder me, bitch.
People think that when they think about people who are murderers, they think it's going to be someone who looks like maybe John Wick or Wolverine or something like that. But it's frickin' Stampede. Stampede. And every time I watch House of Cards, I'm always rooting for him. Now, I don't want anybody to spoil it, but I hoped if they had a prequel or a sequel, it's called a sequel, right? A sequel with Doug Stamper on it, I would watch it 100%. Like, I remember, what was it, Blacklist? They had something, I think they just had Tom Keenan hit there. I think it was Blacklist. I stopped watching Blacklist for a while.
Is Blacklist the show that has the guy that played Alan Shore? I forget the guy's name, but the one who played Alan Shore in Boston Legal. That guy was amazing.
I can't remember.
His character in Boston Legal was perfect, and it kind of makes me wonder if the actor plays that character in real life. The same way Kevin Spacey always plays a creep in real life, and the guy that plays Ari Gold in Entourage, Jeremy Piven, always plays a douchebag. Yeah. Like, Jeremy Piven is an amazing douchebag in Entourage, but he seems like the kind of guy that plays that character in real life.
Oh. Did you ever watch Blacklist?
No, my dad always encouraged me.
We should watch it. I love Blacklist.
My dad loved it just because it had that dude. And I forget his name, it's on the tip of my tongue. The guy that played Alan Shore. He loved that show.
Yeah, I think I only watched like 2 or 3 seasons. The only downside about me watching seasons is that after the series finale, right, you gotta wait about 6 months for the next season to show up or something like that. I lose track of it because then life goes on and I'm not always watching TV, and then next thing I know, so we should watch Blacklist.
So today the houses that we're seeing are supposed to be not falling apart.
Yeah.
I honestly don't mind seeing places that are semi-falling apart, but just not at these prices. With the last house that we saw, I said I would offer $120K. And somebody said, Lewis, I can't believe the complaining you're doing. You're going to complain about any place you see. If that's $120K, that's fine. I go, no, bro. I said I would offer $120K. They want $247.
Yeah.
Nobody heard that part. The last one that we saw, they wanted $247. If you walk, did you see just the visceral feeling of the house falling apart when you looked on the outside of it?
Which one?
The last one that we saw.
Yeah. What do you call that? Rustic.
The one that smells.
Rustic barn.
And also they said, you guys with the smells, you're not used to rural life. You'll get used to it. No. They said that smells better than New York City. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Look,
fuck that.
In New York, you smell a lot of shit around you. It's different when you walk out on the street and you smell shit and you pick up shit and that kind of stuff. But you don't want to go home or go through your front door or go through your back porch trying to relax, drink some alcohol, and then you smell cow shit.
Yeah, because the thing is with Lancaster, Pennsylvania, it doesn't smell like that. Kentucky, the rural Kentucky that I drove through, doesn't smell like that. That's a specific fucking smell, and it's disgusting.
You know what you call that? True rural living for city folk. That's you know what? I should be a realtor. What do you think about that, huh? The smells of the countryside.
No, you'd be a good con artist. Huh? You'd make a quality realtor. You're a good con artist, girl. Yeah. 100%.
I don't think I'd be a con artist.
Yeah.
What?
I think you'd be a great little con artist.
Realtors are not con artists. Why don't you
au contraire, my friend.
You become a realtor.
Au contraire,
we'll see how well you do.
My Asian girlfriend who has never watched my channel before.
Huh?
Realtors are regular liars.
I've watched your channel before, but you're just not taking into things like loss factor.
Erica.
What?
There's no such thing as 50% loss factor. Look, it's a New Hampshire General Store in Concord.
Well, you say loss factor. You sure there's no limit? Sky's the limit. Sky is the limit.
That's fair.
What? I really should get into real estate.
I've encouraged Erica to get a realtor's license because she's the type of social person that can say, oh, what kind of home do you want? Oh, what do you like? Oh, what do you enjoy? Oh, okay, this would be great for you. Like, I'm not good at that. I'm not a social person in that aspect. I can't really... But Erica connects with people. And her ability to connect with almost anybody would make her an amazing realtor, because that's what you have to do. You have to be able to connect with people and like really learn about their lives, their futures, what do they want to do. Because they're going to say, I want this house, and you need to tell them, no, you don't want this house, you dumb fuck. You want this house. You don't want
this house, you want the more expensive house.
No, or you don't want this neighborhood, you really need this neighborhood if this is what you do. And Erica would be great, I think, for doing that. Because she's good at connecting with people, she's good at bullshitting and small talk and all that other fuck shit. Yeah. Like, you're good at like, anytime we meet any random person, I just stare at them like they're a dragon, and you start a conversation with them about their job, their immigration history, their family, like pretty much everything.
I take a sincere interest. Maybe it's a Hawaii thing. Anybody from Hawaii, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no,
you got some people randomly chatting you at the grocery store, at the bus stop, that kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking about, especially the old aunties kind.
Around the world.
What?
I mean, you would be good at that job because you're good at doing all of that. And you're also good at the other part of it, which is the buttering people up with bullshit. You're good at coming up with ways to make shitty things not sound shitty.
I don't just butter people up. I just take a sincere interest in them. I like knowing more about them. I like learning things.
No, but you wouldn't call it undersized, you would call it cozy. You wouldn't call it a lie, you would call it loss factor. I mean, you're good at bullshit like that.
No.
You're bet.
It's not bullshit.
It's kind of bullshit.
No, I would say, you know what?
This house is 80% loss factor.
I wouldn't do that. I would tell them what it is. I'd have them go walk through, and I would say, think about the potential.
Potential. See, again, like this is
a perfect starter home for a family.
Starter home means it's a shithole.
Now, I understand you have some small children. Think about working on these issues with your small children. You can build a tree house outside. You can knock a few trees down. I think they cost about $2,000 each. You can have a beautiful scenic view here. This is prime real estate.
See, you're a little scammer, but that's the thing. You already have the inflections of a little scammer. That's what would make it perfect. I think you should get your realtor's license. I support you getting your realtor's license, but above all, I support you getting a realtor's license because it would require that you learn how to drive, and I would like a designated driver so that I could become a drunk again.
If someone called me, if I had a realtor's license and I was selling real estate, someone called me up at 3 a.m., I would answer the phone. Chances are I'd answer the phone and I'll text message them back.
I haven't had a drink in the longest period of time.
Good. You know why the Doug Stamper, aka the Stampede, doesn't drink? Because not drinking keeps his mind
just took the wrong
razor focused, huh? Were you drinking alcohol?
I wish. Then I had to at least have something to blame it on.
No, then you would have gone right into the mountain.
New Hampshire 3A North, New Hampshire 3A South toward Hogshead, Manchester.
It's funny that just talking about drinking, I took the wrong exit.
I know. Just imagine if you drank.
I haven't had any alcohol. I think I had one shot of something 3 months ago, and that was it. In the last 3 years, it's like 0 alcohol.
Sometimes I know people who drink, and I'm not saying all people, but one of the reasons why I don't like drinking is because I like having all my mental facilities. And the reason why I say that is because I've known people where they drink a little, then they get slumpy, and then they start getting that alcoholic space, for lack of better description. Their life becomes a total mess. And they say, no, I got it under control, Then their life starts slipping from them. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I admire Doug Stamper.
Sounds like my family.
I see him making mistakes. I saw him making mistakes, and he does everything he can to right the wrong.
In 1,000 feet, turn left onto West River Road.
Talking about House of Cards, man. I'm getting a little worried about Doug, trying to go after Rachel.
Now turn left onto West River Road.
He's getting a little hyper-focused. He's going off to, other states trying to find her.
I gotta make a left, and they're taking up my left lane. He's jumpering his car. That's very kind.
Oh, yeah, that is nice.
That's bros being bros right there. You see that? That's nice. Bros being bros.
They're having a nice conversation, too.
They are. They're actually talking. He's not saying, oh, let me jump your car, and then hitting him in the back of the head with a rocket stealing it.
If only they had, like, a pack of Heineken around.
You probably shouldn't drink and drive.
yeah.
That's not being a bro.
Well, I don't know. It's like a commodity in Hawaii. You know, everybody drinks Heineken except me. I mean, a lot of the guys drink Heinekens.
That's not being a bro, Erica.
What? It's not being a bro. It's like being a bro.
Help wanted.
What?
Erica?
What?
How do you think this whole thing with places not being able to find employees is going to end? Do you think, I mean, I hear what everybody's saying, which is they want to get paid more and they were getting paid shit before and all this other stuff. Do you think that this will end with everything becoming way more expensive? Because it's not just one company that's going to be increasing wages at this point. It's pretty much across the board.
This is what my speculation is. You're going to have people who say, I don't want to work for $15 an hour. I'm better than that. I refuse to work.
$15 an hour really doesn't mean shit anymore.
But what's going to happen is that people are going to have to roommate and then live with their parents. But after a while, the money's going to start going dry. And all you have to do if your business is hold out, because people are not amassing $50,000, $100,000 to live rent-free with their parents forever. Not, I mean, like, for instance, right? Money for rent is an expense. So all these businesses have to do, in my opinion, is just wait it out. So, and then they're going to be like, yep, how's your bank account doing? You're going to need a job soon. How's your funds? Going kind of low? Yeah. Well, you know what? We're hiring at McDonald's for $15 an hour, $14 an hour, or better yet, $12 an hour, but you can make up to $25 an hour.
Look at you, Eric.
What?
Did you notice that when the light turned, nobody honked at me, even though it took me 0.3 seconds to accelerate instead of 0.1?
So if I was a business, I would say, hey y'all, you gotta hold the fort down. We got these lazy millennials over here, but don't worry, they're gonna need jobs because they're not gonna be able to live with mommy and daddy forever.
I mean, they probably can. And when their mommy and daddy die, they inherit the house. So they probably.
You're assuming that their mommy and daddy has assets. Not all mommy and daddies have assets.
Once they die, they can live in mommy and daddy's apartment and never get evicted.
Mommy and daddy's apartment probably has a maintenance fee.
They don't pay the maintenance fee. They just stay in the apartment. There you go.
What? If you don't pay the maintenance fee, the homeowners association is going to kick you out.
How are they going to kick you out? Kick out everybody at the same time.
Court system. Staggering it. If you stagger it right, you're going to be like, oh, a small percentage of people were kicked out today.
And then you bring on revolution, Erica. Revolution is no good for
the millennials would have to put down their pumpkin spice lattes to start the revolution. Not going to happen.
Erica.
What?
Revolution. They're going to overthrow the system.
I doubt it. But what happened to Occupy Wall Street? That got shut down.
Yeah, that was admittedly pretty lame.
Yeah, and that was pretty big. People need to realize that the way it's being spun is that you got the old timers who say these millennials, they simply don't want to work. They can afford a house, but like I afforded a house back in the 60s kind of thing, but I was working.
In the 60s, a house with $10,000.
But these millennials, they don't even want to try.
I think most boomers have not done the math when they think of things like that. Like minimum wage is $2 an hour, house is $20K. Now minimum wage $7 an hour, house $600K. The math has slightly changed. I'm not saying it's impossible.
In 1,000 feet, stay straight to take the New Hampshire 3A ramp.
New Hampshire. Erica, how do you say Hampshire?
Hampshire.
How do you say Oreo's name?
Handsome. I call him handsome.
Hans.
I call him handsome.
I know Hum.
Now stay straight to take the New Hampshire 3A ramp.
I miss Hans.
Now stay straight to take the Hampshire 3A ramp.
I hope Oreo doesn't miss you too much. Notice I didn't say me. I think he misses you. He's probably like, they both got killed.
I particularly enjoyed the part where he thought that you killed me, so he stopped sleeping with me.
He was mad.
He probably thought you Doug Stamper.
Huh?
He thought you Doug Stamper.
You know what? I mean, like, Doug Stamper has an incredible amount of loyalty. If I had a Doug Stamper in my life, I would not let that person go. I mean, I would not let that person go in terms of, I would not turn my back on him. I knew a person who was...
Chandler?
The one?
There's a Justice for Chandler sign. Can you Google Chandler?
Christian Rushton Chandler? CWC?
I don't know what that is. Can you Google what Justice for Chandler is?
I don't know. Let's make Sonic shoes on blue again.
Sonic shoe? What?
Never mind. Sonic, I mean.
Sonic shoe.
Or Rosa shoe. I never even followed up. Okay, I don't have internet, unfortunately. This is the New Hampshire roads.
This is Manchester.
Manchester.
You can't blame New Hampshire for that. This is the New York City of New Hampshire.
I have no internet.
We're in Manchester, Erica. Manchester is like the New York City of New Hampshire. If you don't have internet here, this has to do with you being a T-Mobile peasant.
Peasant? Oh,
Peasant.
I'm sorry, Mr. Elitist over here.
This is what Sonny would call peasant class phone service.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm not dealing with your social strata over here.
You could get one of those
Chinese landlord too.
You can get one of those third-party resellers of Verizon or AT&T for as much money probably as you pay for T-Mobile's shit service.
Really? They can be $15 a month?
T-Mobile is it's such trash. I'm very glad that I dumped them many years back.
Many years.
I was once a T-Mobile peasant as well. The one thing I give T-Mobile credit for is they had Wi-Fi calling long before Verizon did. So I was paying a lot for Verizon. I got an office in a basement, and I couldn't make. There's no service because it was a basement. And the T-Mobile people were able to get service because they had Wi-Fi calling, and Verizon said no, we don't support Wi-Fi calling. So I dumped Verizon to get T-Mobile. But then with T-Mobile, the problem with T-Mobile is when you walk to a place where they have trees, or like any place outside of a major metropolitan area, they give you peasant service.
Yeah.
No bars.
You know what we call that? Affordable rates. What?
T-Mobile has less bars than an AOC endorsed prison.
Well, Louis, I just want to say, not everybody in the country needs to be streaming on a YouTube channel. So, I don't need to have AT&T. I'm fine with T-Mobile. $12 or $15 a month, totally fine. In fact, I think my video quality has got up since I stopped streaming so much. I do a lot more pre-recorded now, and I clean my screen.
I'm proud of you for cleaning your screen, by the way.
Yeah, I try to clean my screen every time I stream, which is...
You have to figure out how you're making it dirty to begin with.
It goes in my bag.
Well, what's in your bag?
Huh? Some dark, dirty things.
Like what?
Blood.
Rachel's hand, is it?
Yeah.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised if Rachel's hand.
You know what? I don't understand why Doug Stamper is so fixated on Rachel. What he should do is he should hire a hitman, and then that way he doesn't have to waste his time and energy on
He has to bargain just to get $250K a year. He's been unemployed for a while. He's been on unemployment, probably
What's
only
he
getting
spending his money on?
his apartment and his treatment.
Huh?
Maybe he doesn't
He
have
has
great health
insurance.
insurance.
He has insurance. If you were a politician that much, you have probably one
He's
of the
not a
finest
politician. He's a
insurance.
chief of staff.
Yeah, he was the chief of staff, but he's still affiliated with the federal government, right?
Manchester. Near, far.
But yeah, if I was Doug Stamper, I would go ahead and hire a hitman, and then that way you just get rid of Rachel. You don't have to spend the time and energy. Just be able to make her disappear.
Even if he hires a hitman, that's one other person that knows. The more people you involve in the circle, the more likely the conspiracy gets out, which is why it's best to kill people yourself.
No, false. Because his face is highly recognizable. So it's better for him to just get a person.
He's not recognizable if he does it in a cornfield.
Yeah,
Speaking
but
of cornfields, you know what we're checking out next?
what? The cornfield?
You'll see, Rach. I mean, Erica.
No, whatever.
No, but seriously, it's true. The more people that you involve in a conspiracy, the higher the likelihood of it getting out. That's why you want to involve the least number of people possible in a conspiracy.
Yeah, but if you have people that you trust, and I'm assuming that this would be a very well orchestrated, well coordinated event, you can have the second Epstein. Oh, the security cameras.
They're not
were
working
turned
with
off
the
that day.
budget.
Oh, someone was sleeping. Huh? Yeah, but he has very strong connections. Never underestimate how powerful people really are. They can make things happen, and then the news doesn't report it.
The news will always report it.
No, they won't.
If they will.
No, they won't.
If they will. They reported Epstein.
Yeah, they reported it.
It's 2021, Erica. It's not 1970
But do people
anymore.
still talk about Epstein?
Yes, he's become a meme. Epstein has become a verb for when Clintons kill you.
Yeah, but people don't really look into it as much.
They don't look into it because there's nothing that they can.
Yeah, but
they
now
can
people
do.
are like joking around, and do they really want to find out the truth? You know, they'll just be like, oh yeah, the security cameras were put in, all the guards were sleeping and that kind of stuff. Oh well, haha, let's joke about the Clintons, haha.
I mean, what are they going to do?
Take that
Become
really
FBI agents?
seriously. No, it
When
turned
they
into
grow
a
up, they'll
meme.
become FBI agents. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
it turned into a meme, and that's it.
When they grow up, they'll become FBI agents and they'll solve.
I didn't really see much accountability because when someone passes away due to mysterious circumstances and people laugh about it, that tells you that's the end of the story.
That's not the end of the story.
It is the end of the
There's
story.
somebody
People
out there.
talk about being Epstein.
There are
It's like,
kids that are going to grow up, Erica, and they're going to become FBI agents and investigators and police because they will want to figure out what happened to Epstein.
Yeah, and you get too close to the fire, you get burned. It's best to look the other way. Don't look
No.
into it.
He had a lot of dirt on a lot of people.
We did.
Like, sometimes I wonder, was he actually a pedophile, or did he just kind of start doing that shit because it was a good way to get blackmail on people?
I don't.
And like, I do wonder, was he a real pedo, or did he start out just figuring, I need to get blackmail on people? Then he kind of started playing the part, and he got too attached to the part that he was playing, kind of shit. I don't know. Sick fuck still. Either way. I can't wait to take you to a cornfield. The top voted comment in that Kentucky video is nothing wholesome ever happened in a cornfield.
Yeah, but then people are gonna compare you to Brian Laundrie. They're gonna say, man, they went on a road trip together and he came back and...
Just for the sake of this chat, if I come home and Erica doesn't come with me, assume the worst.
Foreshadowing.
If
All
come-
I know is no one's gonna say, man, Louis Rossmann is very good at wilderness skills.
Yeah, that's not me. And you're like, this woods does not have an EV charger. Where are Whole Foods? I don't think you'd be good in the wilderness either if
I
you
would
killed me.
not be. I would not be. 100%
When we go to an area that's even mildly rural, Erica starts going, where is Whole Foods? Where is Amazon Fresh? It's like, Erica, that's your backyard.
You can tell Louis is a city person. He says like, oh yeah, you can just grow your food in your backyard. And I tell him to look around the neighbors. Do they have farms around? No, it's just
They're probably
perfectly...
city people too.
It's just long mowed grass. That's it. Which is such a waste of lawn space. Like, why, if you have like a 1 acre backyard, why don't you grow some tomatoes or lettuce
Grow
or
bacon.
corn or something like that?
Put a bacon seed.
Bacon seed?
Yeah.
Well, I hate to break it to you, former vegetarian. That's not how bacon is grown.
You can grow some honey chicken.
Honey chicken?
Yeah.
So you're gonna be a
Honey
beekeeper.
mustard sauce.
You're gonna have to be a beekeeper. Plus, you're gonna have to raise your own pigs.
You make this too complicated, Erica.
By the way, we saw some beekeepers. We saw some beekeeping boxes, for lack of a better word. And I was like, wow, geez, these are actual bees. It was great. I've seen it on TV, but I don't really see those beekeeping boxes out on the side. I was, of course, on some kind of farmland that we were passing
Sponsor
by.
a highway. Keep New Hampshire clean and scenic.
I love how they say keep it clean and scenic. They would probably have some seizures if they went to Brooklyn. People gave up.
Would it be worth sponsoring a highway in a state that only has about 1 million people? New York City has 8.5 million.
If you
Brooklyn
want-
has 2.3. This entire state has 1 million people.
Why don't you sponsor a highway in New York?
Does that cost too much?
You sure?
Yes, everything there costs too much.
No, ask them how much it is.
Rice will be. This is a beautiful highway.
It is pretty. It's very nice. Oh, I was just thinking to myself, what do you know one of the, what was I gonna say? One of the scenes in House of Cards, people said it reminded them of Game of Thrones. You know, the subway scene? I don't want to ruin it, but you know what I'm talking about.
We've already ruined so much of the show. Right?
Yeah.
You don't want to ruin season 1, even though we've ruined
That was
seasons 2 and 3.
amazing. Yeah, well, no, I mean, like, Doug Stamper, I mean, he's still alive. I'm rooting for him, man. We'll always say that. I'm ready for when, if Doug Stamper passes away, we're like, no!
What are the qualities you appreciate about Doug?
Loyalty. It sounded like he was a broken man. And then Frank Underwood recognized that he had talent. And even though he went down a deep, dark path, he still saw the potential in him. Either that or he disregarded his past and just encouraged him to be better. What I don't like is it seems like Frank Underwood just disposed him, and I think that was a huge mistake on...
Did he dispose? I mean,
he did, because he doesn't... Look.
He made sure his treatment was taken care of?
Yeah, but he doesn't follow up with Stamper.
He's in the hospital.
He's not in the hospital.
He had a fucking concussion. I mean, his brain would have been mush.
Yeah, but Doug Stamper is trying to send him information to help him with America Works, and it seems like he just kind of disregards it. And that is a huge flaw. You do not turn your back on people that loyal to you.
It's like when my YouTube comments say, hey, Lewis, I think this is what you need to tell a politician that you did wrong. It's like, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, but this is different. If someone kills for you, if someone does everything they can to protect you and puts themselves in harm's way.
He covered up. Big difference.
Okay. He covered up. But if someone basically is your right-hand man, you don't just get rid of them like that. You don't just ignore them like that. Because then you realize if you have someone with that kind of mindset, if they turn on you, it can help lead to your demise. You do not want to get on the bad side of those individuals. Those people are very far and few between.
Did you notice that the numbers on the exits denote the amount of miles between them? Like exit 5 is 5 miles away from exit 10.
65 is 65 miles. I did not know.
You didn't know that?
No. I thought it was just some random number like Highway I-95.
Now you know. You're a more knowledgeable Eric.
Thank you.
More well-rounded.
I used to know a person who reminded me kind of like a Doug Stamper-ish. Used to. Then they got soft. But they were very, very strategic. And they shared with me things. I remember they were telling me, they said, Erica, if you ever go to a restaurant, always make sure that you're facing the door. And I said, why? And they said, you never know who's walking through that door.
If someone walks in the door to kill you and they're at the door and you're facing the door, that means you would just simply be running into them as they kill you.
Now you can see them. You're aware of who's coming through that door. And they're also very, very perceptive. I don't notice a lot of things. I said, always make sure you're facing the door. And yeah. I remember before they used to share with me some things. And I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, holy crap.
I'm sure. They had this
plan about where their life was going to go. But then things happened. And then their life took a different trajectory. I recently saw them. I saw them within the last 2 years. We used to be pretty damn close. And then things happened. You know, just naturally we parted ways.
Very vague, Eric.
Huh?
Very vague.
No, they're still alive. They're still alive. You know, they're not in prison or anything like that. But, you know, sometimes you know people, and then after a while, just time goes by, and then you just drift apart, that kind of stuff. But
In 1
I remember the
mile,
last time
take
I
exit
saw them.
5 on the right onto New Hampshire 111A toward Nashua,
I
Pepper,
spoke.
Massachusetts.
Here are the robots attached.
Yeah. I remember the last time I saw them, I spoke to them, and the first thing I noticed is that the way that they were speaking was different. And I remember thinking to myself instantly, this person has gone soft.
Why do you keep saying this person instead of they?
They,
You add many syllables.
okay, they got soft. They got soft. It's like you see a person with like such a kind of controlled mindset, and then all of a sudden you just kind of think, what happened? What happened for them to just be kind of, I don't want to say mediocre, but they just got really soft. It actually made me really sad when I noticed it. Sometimes people don't realize, like, you can tell a lot about a person just how, like, having a short conversation, right? You can kind of
exit 5 on
say
the
like,
right.
oh, they weren't giving off the same kind of vibes that they were giving off
In
before.
1,000 feet, take exit 5W on the right onto May Dunstable Road.
Dunstable. I don't know why every time I hear Dunstable, I think of cum dumpster.
Now take exit 5W on the right.
But yeah, that person, I have had a conversation with them, like a true conversation with them in over, say, 3-4 years.
All right. See you guys later.